What is up? Happy Friday, RotoGrinders. 2 hours nonstop. MLB DFS conversation starts right now. It's Friday night. It's a film Friday. It is a big boy slate. Not messing around. Myself, Bobby Gomes, taking up the crunch time. About an hour and 10 minutes or so until we yield to Kirkwood, KirkDiese, and Dave Potts. CheeseIsGood. All right, last day. It's our last day without Roth. I believe this is Roth's last day on vacation. He'll be back next week. Do want to give a refresh to our current weather report, and I don't think things have changed, right? Just yellow in Baltimore, green yellow in Philly, green yellow in Atlanta. Nothing necessarily to freak out about just yet. Bobby, you're popping in, you're popping out of the picture. I think you're currently in, depending on what if you get to move up, move back, we may get you in the picture. But
I don't know why I just can't be in the picture. Is it because my curtain's behind me that ruins my?
What do you mean curtains behind you? Curtains? I don't see curtains.
There's curtains behind me for the that you can't see on the.
Oh, you're killing the illusion now, Bobby. The people thought you lived in this mansion with a piano, which you might. It just also happens to have curtains behind you currently.
Yeah, curtains, Dean. You can't be rich and have a few curtains.
Of course you can. Yeah, I don't think there's a Venn diagram necessarily, but. I'm not the guy to ask. You're asking me, Bobby, about technology. This is a TJ question, or a Steve question, or a Google question. I don't know. I'm not the guy to figure that out. But we'll make do. The people they see you. We got a good picture of you right now. Just don't move for the rest of the show. Stay in that exact spot. Although it looks like you're like a booster seat. You're really down low. Either way, we got an hour plus.
Dean, I'm a short guy.
No. I don't even know if you are or you aren't, but now you just got taller all of a sudden. Hey, chat, what's up? Hit that like button and subscribe. Turn on those notifications, please, so you know when we go live. Happy Friday, happy Film Friday. I think we're gonna have Spidey Bombs. Did not run this by TJ, but he's telling us to smash the like button. I assume Spidey works on a Friday night. We're probably gonna get those Spidey Bombs as well. The more times you hit the like button, I guess you can only hit it once, right? The more Spidey Bombs you get. Telling TJ and Spidey going to help you guys out as far as who's going yak tonight. Again, 12 games. Yes. We have the first clue for Film Friday already dropping too. Let's get that one out of the way. In a hurry, if you will. The first clue is hurry. And I should also tell TJ the name of the film because I have yet to tell him. So, I know you're excited about Film Friday. I know you're excited about tonight's 12-game slate, Bobby. How are things? How are you seeing the overview? I'll give you my quick little overview before I throw it to you. Crochet, Yamamoto, Webb, 3 best pitchers as far as skills. Best matchup is probably Yamamoto. Then it's Crochet, then it's Webb, and I have them in that order. But I would say Yamamoto and Crochet are kind of 1 and 1A for me. I'm going to have at least one of those in every lineup I make on DraftKings. I haven't tried to figure out if we can make them both work, if we can go double barrel, because there's a lot of cheap hitters. Probably some more so because we just has Baltimore's lineup officially dropped? Yeah, it did. And I'm not saying they're good, but they're without several of their pieces. There's no Colton Cowser's out, as is Westberg. And I mentioned Baltimore because they had, close to a 16 total. It was actually over 6 before the show started. It might drop a little bit because it has dropped under 6 now with the new iteration of this Baltimore lineup. Holiday, Rushman, Henderson, O'Hearn, Laureano, Mullins, Urias, Carlson, and Maverick Hanley, who's not nearly as good as his name is, doing the catching tonight. 24 teams, Bobby. There's 24 teams, and I know we have Kirkwood on later. I'm not sure if he's released his official gutless power rankings in the season, but if he has those, Baltimore has got to be in the board, and Atlanta, they've got to be in the board, right? 2 of the most gutless teams this season, and wouldn't you know it, Atlanta at home versus Aaron Marquez, Baltimore at home versus Jack Kohanowitz. These are the 2 most popular teams in the slate. At least that's the way I'm seeing it right now. How do you feel about that? There's 24 teams, and the 2 most gutless teams in the league are probably the most popular. Curious to get your assessment, the overview, before we fully dive in for this Friday night slate.
Yeah. Pitching's decent for O'Shea, Yamamoto. You hit on Webb. I think Webb's the one that's not going to make my pool. He isn't the greatest value, and then he's facing the Dodgers, so kind of out on Logan Webb. I'm pretty positive. Gavin Williams looks fantastic versus Seattle. Bryce Elder versus Colorado. We know how gutless Colorado is. We want to talk about Atlanta being gutless. Colorado, extremely gutless.
We never thought they had guts, though. We assumed we thought Baltimore had guts. We thought Atlanta had guts. Nobody ever assumed Colorado had guts.
Yeah. No, I understand.
They're terrible. Yeah.
They're terrible. I actually like some, and maybe you're into this play, but it's kind of like a two-condom play. Let's go Michael Wacha versus Athletics.
Yeah.
So I feel like that gets you going. You're into stuff like that.
It doesn't get me excited, but he's probably going to get me about 15 points.
He's probably going to get you 15 or 16, and for whatever you're playing tonight, Dean, that's probably okay.
He's not going to get me 20. I feel pretty confident to say.
Yeah, he's had some good games though, for what it's worth. Like I don't hate him. The efficiency is definitely there with Wacha. In terms of the offenses, yeah, Baltimore, I think now just basically looking at this lineup, like I like O'Hearn. There's guys on Baltimore that I have no issue getting to. Gunnar Henderson being chalk, I'm a little skeptical about because that really hasn't worked out a ton all year. Yeah, who was the iterations of the lineup? Hanley's in for Rushman.
No, both catchers are playing. So Rushman's in there, but Hanley's also playing because last night Kowser ran to the wall, and they said they might be available to pinch hit or pinch run, I guess, but he's not starting. And also Westberg is not playing. So they're running out two catchers, I guess. I'm assuming Rushman's DHing. That's what makes sense to me in my head.
Yeah.
So it's a downgrade. Not that Kowser is amazing. I think there's something better. Hanley I don't feel good about, but he's a cheap part of the stack if you want to get the stack there. And then there's Atlanta versus Yerman Marquez. Colorado, obviously their bullpen's not good. Marquez feels like he's on the 17th hole at this point. It's he's winding down this sport. Once upon a time he was pretty good, but it's kind of not really happening anymore. The D-backs look pretty good, I think, against Kolek, at home against the Padres. Let's see other offenses that look kind of sort of somewhat appealing. It's tough. I
kind of like the Padres side of that game for what it's worth.
I don't mind them. Yeah, I think that's kind of like the sneaky game, both sides of it. I shouldn't say Arizona. I don't think Arizona's very sneaky, but I agree with you. Ryan Nelson,
San Diego goes overlooked, I would imagine. You have Tatis at the top there. Gavin Sheets has been playing really well. I can't believe I'm saying it. Don't mind Merrill or Machado. Minnesota, I think looks pretty strong. Whether it's Buxton, Jeffers, Correa, all those guys I like tonight. Versus Colton Gordon, Matt Wallner in the 7-hole, I think is nice. Those are mainly the offenses. Do you have any interest in the Angels?
I wish Turner Ward was playing. Taylor Ward. Yeah, he's out. They didn't call up Christian Moore. I don't think he's in the player pool. He's making his debut in the 9 spot. Lamont Wade is there. Newly acquired Lamont Wade. Sean Wells is a good hitter, but not. I always kind of compare him fairly or unfairly to a Rise. Just he's probably not going to bang one out. I guess he's got a little bit of pop, but I wish there was a little bit more there. But I do like Trout. Dell's still really cheap, especially on DK. Neto has been awesome. You got to pay for him, but probably gets 5 ABs here. Pretty good weather in Baltimore as well. Last I saw with Weather Edge, we're getting a bit of a bump there. Let me give it a refresh. So I like both sides of that game a good bit, but I think the field's going to be on it too. Yankees and Red Sox. I know Kirkwood's going to be on later. I don't know what he's going to say, but I always said in the past, he always thinks those games kind of go off. Yankees in Boston. And I don't really like the offenses there. Crochet, I'm more on the Crochet side than the Yankee side. Kind of weird they have Rice batting second here versus Crochet, but a lot of times they sit him versus lefties. I think Jazz is still dinged as well, so he's out. He's also left-handed, so he's not in there. He had a neck, and he had another body part too. He had multiple body parts, so he's not playing tonight. Took a peek here. Yeah, 269 previous games in Baltimore. Boosting homers at 13.8%, kind of a crosswind. It's 82 degrees as far as the temp, and and part of that is I assume has when the ballpark was further back down the left field line. Obviously, they moved the fences in earlier this season. Nothing else really of notes, I don't think, as far as weather when it comes to like Haters Ballpark. Slightly negative for the Dodgers and the Giants, slightly negative for Kansas City and the Athletics. Atlanta basically looks neutral. The Mets is kind of a slight downgrade as well, but nothing really jumping off the page, right? And as far as team totals, again, Baltimore and Atlanta are sort of in their own tier, with Arizona not too far behind. I kind of like Milwaukee a little bit. We'll talk about that. Eric Fetty has been. We talk about the regression monster. He's due for it for sure. He's got really lucky BABIP, really lucky homer in the fly ball. No Milwaukee lineup just yet. Fetty's got the biggest Sierra on the board, despite having a very respectable 3.5 ERA or so. Anything else we should mention before we fully dive in and start talking about some pitchers? You got anything else when it comes to big pitcher on this slate?
Texas team total moved a little bit, so I think you can bump them up versus the White Sox. That's pretty much it. We can kind of just dive in to pitching.
Yeah, we sort of touched on it, in the overview. Two pitchers at the top, I would say, with Crochet and Yamamoto. I think Webb is really good. Just the fact he's facing the Dodgers, you got to hit him a little bit. Ownership reflects it. We're showing Crochet at 31%, which is kind of a big number for any pitcher throwing baseballs against the Yankees. You mentioned Elder. Elder is like the de facto SP2. He's a perfectly fine pitcher. A lot of ground balls. He's got that skill. A lot of ground balls. And he's facing the terrible Rockies. Then Yamamoto coming in at 22%. I think your cash game pitchers is some combination of those three: Crochet, Elder, Yamamoto. It's probably Elder and Crochet or Yamamoto, depending on if you're playing cash. I don't totally buy the Gavin Williams one at 18%. I'm not really in on that. The ballpark's great, but you have to get Cal Raleigh out a couple times, if nothing else. Freddie Peralta, once upon a time like a super stud pitcher. He's still good, but not elite. You mentioned Walker coming in at 14%, Clay Holmes at 12%, Webb at 9%. So if you want to play that ownership stuff, and Luis Castillo is another pitcher that's, not what he once was, still fine, but not somebody you can feel fully confident in to just go out there and strike out 10 or so. It's not a very deep pitcher pool. It's weird. The pitching pool is not deep. And I don't think the offenses are very deep either. There's a lot of stuff in the middle. We'll see when it comes to the tiers later on how you feel about that. But that's kind of the way I see it. Are you running a 1 lineup, 10 lineups? How many lineups are you running out today?
25 lineups, Dean. 25 lineups here.
And how many pitchers do you think will be in your pool when all is said and done?
Currently have around 6 pitchers. So yeah.
Crochet, Elder, Yamamoto, Waka?
Waka's in there. Yeah, it's mainly Crochet. 1 second. Crochet. My screen's freezing up on me. Figures. Crochet, okay. Gavin Williams, Elder, Yamamoto, Waka. Who else would I have in there? That's pretty much. That's mainly it.
Chat's saying Severino.
I had Colton Gordon.
Just if you really want to save some salary, I guess you can play some Colton Gordon. Probably not going to have a big game. What is his projected pitch count, right? He can only go so deep, I believe. Where do we have him as far as projected pitches? 80. Yeah. What does the bat have? I'm looking at the RG stuff. Is bat similar? I thought you were looking at it. Sorry.
Yeah, it was bat has him for
probably something similar. I can find it.
80
on top. Okay. So they're in agreement. You know what? I think I had it on the bat. So let me flip it back and see what RG has. RG's got 83. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at the bat and I was saying it was RG stuff, but very similar. Yeah, he's basically loses an inning versus everybody else. Big leash for Webb, big leash for Castillo and Crochet. Yamamoto as well throws about 95, 96 pitches per start. Did you say Gavin Williams? Do you have a Gavin Williams take? I don't think I'm going to get there. And also somebody was asking, well, I'll save that question. Your thought on Gavin Williams?
I think Gavin Williams is fine versus Seattle. Like he's going to be owned. You could pivot to like a guy like Castillo, but I think Castillo's more expensive, so I'm just not interested. I don't mind playing Gavin Williams versus Seattle. Seattle can strike out a bit. I know you're afraid of Raleigh. I'm not
as
really.
you should be. I mean, you only got to face him a couple times, but yeah, and the ballpark's great. So you see, he's fine. I guess I just don't love Gavin Williams. He's just all over the map for me. But maybe he can be okay. He's had a good run of late.
I think he's going to be fine, Dean. You're a little nervous. You seem nervous. I'm
mean,
if he's like 17% industry wide, 21 for me is fine.
I saw, where is that? Derek was saying lock Elder and 5 max. I don't think so. I mean, Elder's a perfectly fine pitcher, and the Rockies stink. I mean, that's the case, of course. But he's not like this amazing pitcher. 21% as far as Ks in the year. Again, he does have a strong ground ball lean, which we like. But there's really nothing like special about him. He's fine. I don't think you're supposed to lock Elder. He's not like this lock. Would you have a take on that?
I don't think he's a lock. I don't think really any pitchers on this slate are locks. Like Crochet is great, but like he's facing the Yankees, so it's something where like you have two of the best hitters against lefties and Judge and Goldschmidt in that lineup. I don't like you hit on Webb at the beginning. Webb versus the Dodgers, like that doesn't seem like great value. I know Webb's strikeouts have been up this year, but it's still the Dodgers. Yeah. Any Freddie Peralta interest at all?
Yeah, he's an interesting one, right? I think he's got a decent chance of getting the win because I'm not on Fetty. The Ks are pretty good, right? 24.5%. How many lefties is he facing? Strikeouts have been up as far as versus lefties. Well, I'm sorry, down. 26.4% against righties. He's really subdued power against lefties this year. 85 ISO. Last year, a 128 ISO, so he's been very good against them, just not striking out them out as much this season. But Nootbaar, Burleson, Gorman, and Ciani. It's not a great lineup.
No,
I think he's fine. 21.5% as far as Ks, but that's in part inflated because of Gorman and Ciani, and those guys are hitting 7 and 9. He's going to see those guys twice, almost definitely not 3 times. What's going on with TJ? He saw vomit on whose sweater? Is it vomit on my sweater? Why would I vomit on my sweater? Is that somebody else? What is TJ talking about? I don't know. Is there a vomit on either one of our sweaters? I just jumped in the middle of a conversation. I got distracted.
I have to open the door real quick. Is that can I?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
J3 said on the surface, Dean looks calm and ready. So I said, "There's vomit on his sweater already." Mom spaghetti.
I see what you're doing there. And TJ doing a little 8 mile. TJ, you ran away, and Bobby's at the door. You can't leave.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's why I popped back in. I realized I should have stayed if he's running to the door. So, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing all right. Everything all right? You're all. Did you have any? I know you're going to be on later. You're going to be hosting later with Kirkwood and Dave Potts. And maybe you want to save some of your takes. I know we have a Spidey Bomb getting unleashed momentarily. But is there any picture we should?
Right, and so I can actually unleash it right now while I'm up here. Spidey Bomb number 1 plus 540 over on FanDuel. We are going with Riley Green as Spidey Bomb number 1. I'm feeling generous today. So I'll say we'll do a second one at 75 likes and a third one at 100 likes. So keep hitting that like button. We'll do another one at 75 likes, another one at 100 likes.
Bobby is back. Thank you, TJ. Yeah, Riley Green taking on Nick Martinez there. We didn't kind of run through it. I was kind of looking at the elite pitchers as far as the specific matchups. Boston, Crochet taking on the Yankees. Crochet is the biggest K rate in the slate. 31.1%. This Yankee iteration, as far as their lineup that's out there, they strike at a 22.5% clip. You want it to be a little bit higher. Somewhat surprisingly, Cody Bellinger this year, 70 at bats versus lefties, left on left, 230 ISO, 403 WOBA, 8.6% as far as Ks. He's been very good against lefties. Has he not been good against righties? I feel like he's not having like this great season in my head. Yeah, not as good. Not as good versus righties. Maybe that small sample stuff. It's 70 at bats. And then Yamamoto taking on the Giants, Bobby. No Matt Chapman. Chapman's out for a while. Certainly hinders their lineup. Especially the back end. I guess Kisner is going to get rolled out there again at catcher. I think they did call up another guy, but I think it was a journeyman veteran. I can't recall who they called up, but somebody not good. And Kisner is certainly not good. There's the Adames who came alive in Coors. That's not terribly surprising. Ramos is like a real legit hitter. Dom Smith is still getting at bats. I know he banged at a homer in Coors, but again, I like my chances against Dominic Smith at this point. I just like the matchup for Yamamoto against the Giants a little bit better, and he's a little bit cheaper than Crochet, but I'm not going to fight with you if you say Crochet's better. 1A, 1B, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to have one of each in each lineup. Anything else as far as pitchers? Anything else we should focus on? Trying to see if anybody else has been thrown out there in the chat.
Mainly, if I had to rank them for me, it's Crochet, Elder, Yamamoto, Gavin Williams, Peralta, Waka. Those are like the guys that I'm in on my 6. I don't know. I'm not going too low. People are talking about Charlie Morton to save.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. But I don't know. Colton Gordon. There's not much there. That's pretty much where I'm at. How about you, Dean?
Yeah, I'm not making a ton of lineups, so my pool is pretty small. It's pretty chalky as well as far as pitcher. Like I said, I'm gonna have one of the two big arms, possibly 2, if I can kind of make it happen. And my offense is not that hindered. I'm going to play some Elder. I don't love that he's gonna be super popular, but I think he'll just be fine. Several people in chat are asking about Hauser for Chicago. What are your thoughts as far as Adrian Hauser against Texas?
Texas run total move 0.6 from the open. So for me, no Hauser. I know Hauser's been better than what Hauser's this year than he has been in his career, but really no interest for me with Hauser versus Texas.
Big splits as far as strikeouts on the season, 27.5% strikeouts, which is this is a small sample stuff. It's a big increase from last year for what it's worth. Last year at 14.5% standard, 12.2 versus left, 16.9 versus right. That's not nice. And then this year, 21.5% just as is, and the splits are 17% versus lefties, 27% versus righties. He's not giving up an extra base hit versus righties this season as well. Just 40 at-bats. So I wanted to count up the righties. Looks like there are 5. Langford, Semien, Berger, Young, and Garcia. He throws strikes, not really going to walk anybody. He's cheap, I guess, I kind of buried the lead, right? But I just don't think he's necessary. And I'm with you. I prefer Texas. If I had to pick one side, either Texas or Hauser, I would take Texas. Let's drop that second clue, by the way. And 75 likes. TJ's in a giving mood here on a Film Friday. Just a few more likes. We're going to get a second Spidey Bomb. Just like we're getting a second clue. And if you're new, what are these clues? What is Film Friday? Well, if you happen to tell me what film I'm talking about, given the clues, in the Discord channel only. I see people participating in the YouTube. By all means, that's fine. But it's not an official rep, not an official AB. It's just spring training. Get in the Discord, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. Be the first to tell me what film I'm talking about. And you get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. That's football, baseball, basketball, hockey, MMA, PGA, LOL. What else is there? I'm sure I missed something. WNBA. Caitlin Clark's back this weekend. I'm sure they're excited. Taking on New York. I know you know this, Bobby, but New York's undefeated. The Liberty. So that's going to be a big deal. As you're flicking back and forth between the U.S. Open or something like that. Who knows what you're up to? But
Succession. I'm watching Succession.
You're giving it a rewatch? You watched it once, right? All the way through?
Yeah, I watched it once already. I'm on the first episode. I was just finishing up the first episode of season 4 of the 4th one.
Oh, such a good show. Incredible show. I haven't rewatched it just yet. I want to give it a little bit of space, but I get it. I get going back and revisiting so quickly because it's a spectacular television show. Spotty Bomb number 2 just dropped, by the way. It is Evan Carter. Deliver is our second clue for Film Friday. It's hurry and it's deliver. That is the first 2 clues. We'll drop another clue in about 10 minutes or so. Be the first to tell me what film I'm talking about and get yourself a week free of RG Premium. I think that's good as far as pitchers. Checking out the Discord channel, the answer it's not Rush or Catch Me If You Can or Rush Hour or Premium Rush or 30 Minutes or Less. It's a good guess though. Hustle and Flow, which is a spectacular movie nobody talks about, or Baby Driver. Again, these are all good guesses. I see what you're doing there. A lot of smart guesses. Maybe we'll get some more clarity momentarily when the third clue comes in. You got anything else, Bobby? Moving on. Bobby, you know what day today is? Besides it being Friday.
Friday the 13th, Dean. Friday the 13th.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Are you scared? You said I was scared earlier in the show. You look scared.
I'm exhausted, but yeah. Also,
you're too tired to be scared?
Yeah. I know.
Do you suffer from triskaidekaphobia?
No, I suffer from kids not sleeping, Dean.
No, I don't know what that's called. But yeah, triskaidekaphobia is the fear of number 13.
I think I am a little bit afraid of that number, but it's also the Feast of St. Anthony today, which is like big and like Italian heritage.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
So 13's like a lucky number for us, I guess. But
is that in Boston or New York? Or is I think they do it in LA as well? Is that something they do all over the place? I don't know.
I have no idea, Dean. The number 13, like, I guess there's a yin and yang to it.
Yeah. Like, would you be okay? Some hotels, I don't know if they still do this or not. Some hotels, they used to like not have a 13th floor, right? Like they just would skip it.
I would skip it. Yeah, I would definitely skip it.
So like if you check into your hotel and they give you the 13th floor, you would ask for a new room. You'd be like, you know what? Just in case.
Just in case. Yeah. Makes the most sense.
Okay.
I wouldn't sit in the 13th seat on a plane, I'll tell you that much.
Like you're being serious, right? Yeah, I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
No way.
Okay, fair enough. I did see there was a tragic plane crash, and there was one survivor, and the survivor was an 11A.
On Twitter, he was above the wing, and that's where you have the best chance of. I always thought it was in the back. Like the way
it's a small sample too, right? So I don't know if maybe it's just the one time. I don't know what the.
No, they say it's like a 5% increase that, like, chance of survival if you're above the wing near the emergency door, which I guess he was. Everyone perished and he lived. So.
Okay. Yeah. Sad events, obviously. So today's tiers, Bobby. Today's tiers category. What we did was. Oh, wait a second. Did we get an update as far as weather? That seems like we got an update as weather. Is weather dicey now? Oh, boy. So it's yellow-orange in Baltimore. It's yellow-orange in Atlanta. So here's a little conundrum I have, Bobby, and it's hard to say.
Is Roth on today? Is he back from his birthday so we can get it healthier?
This is what I was getting to. Roth this is his last day of vacation, so Roth's not here. However, filling in for Roth is somebody completely 100% qualified, and he's somebody he's friendly with.
He plays DFS too, so he might be coming for Roth's job because he probably has a better take.
You always assume people are coming for other people's jobs.
I'm surprised, dude. Surprised I'm still here.
So
especially after how this show started.
What I'm asking, Bobby, is and there's no way of knowing this. We can't. Is this person's yellow-orange scale the same as Ross? Did Roth like teach him? Was there like a PowerPoint presentation?
You might have taught Roth. You might have taught Roth. No, is he going to tell us bats are okay? Like,
well, I'm saying Roth created this scale. I just want to know, and maybe he's just being a little overly like cautious. I just want to know his yellow-orange is the same as Ross yellow-orange. If that makes sense. And that's all I'm asking. And there's no way of knowing. And I shouldn't even say
red be a better color than orange.
It's better than orange, and yes, it's well, no, red's the scary.
Like, wouldn't red be a better color to like say warning?
No, red is literally like stop, and yellow is caution. You've driven.
Yeah, but we have orange.
Red, he does use red. Red is you can't play it.
Red's no.
Okay,
full stop.
He does use red.
Yeah, red's a full stop. Yeah, so red's the worst color. So like, and you also know
chat is colorblind. Like, how does that work for them?
I don't know. I wish that maybe they could just read it. They can read it at their own leisure. But also yellow is first. Yellow is the dominant color. So it means if it's orange yellow, I'm more scared than when it's yellow orange. But I don't know what to do. But we'll see. And maybe we'll get an update later on. Hopefully we do. Games don't start for another hour and a half or so. But something we have to keep our eyes on, obviously. As far as tiers, Bobby, I was asking the chat. Feel free to let me know.
I don't like scary movies, Dean. I bet that it's scary movies.
No, it's not. You're trying to get ahead of me. It's not. It's funny. I actually almost went with my original thought was so you're kind of a horror movie villains. Like I was going to do like a Jason homage because Friday the 13th. But I went away from that, and then I went to I did phobias, things that people fears, things that people are afraid of, for rightfully so. However you want, So what are things? Is there something you want to admit to the people? Besides the number 13, that you want to tell them that you maybe you don't necessarily want to hang out with, or you don't love the situation? As an example,
I'm a pretty chill guy, Dean. I just don't like scary movies. I don't need to get all revved up,
There's this famous clip of this lady that went on the Maury Povich show, where she was afraid of olives, and they brought out a jar of olives, and she like flipped out. And I don't mean to make fun of anybody's phobia, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Olives. You're probably going to be okay.
I don't like rats. Rats really scare me.
Rats. Okay.
Like in my neighborhood, there's a lot of like rats that run around the street and stuff. Yeah, I'm not a fan. They had a rink rat at my kids' hockey practice the other day, and a guy dressed up as a suit, and he was a rink rat, and I was like, this looks weird.
Wait, when you say a rink rat, was it like an homage to the Florida Panthers? Is that what it was? It had to be.
No,
I don't know if you know when the Panthers win,
like,
they throw rats on the ice.
A rink rat, like it's like a nickname for someone who's on the ice all the time. You call them a rink rat.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't like that Florida Panthers like throw the rats on the ice thing. That just I wouldn't like that.
All right. Derek is saying Dale Jr. has a jewelry phobia, which I've never heard that before, but okay.
Jewelry?
Jewelry. I guess he's afraid of jewelry. I'm not sure. And I'm also being told that apparently that was staged. And
never trust a guy who wears jewelry. A guy that wears jewelry. Too much jewelry. I mean, I have a gold necklace, but yeah.
You wear the right amount where we can trust you.
Bobby just confirmed that we cannot trust him.
He kind of walked it back. He's like, hey, if you're having just a little bit, it's fine.
No, like overly, like a pinky. My uncle, he's like this old Italian guy. He has like a pinky ring. I wouldn't trust that guy as far as I can throw him. Okay. He's like my older. He's like married in the family.
Is he watching out there? You want to say hello?
No, he's not watching.
All right.
Kirkwood has a Jesus piece. He's a Jesus piece. I could see Kirkwood wearing we went to the club once, me and Kirkwood. I think he was. Yeah, he might add a Jesus piece.
Well, he'll be on later. We'll see what he's wearing. Maybe he's listening and he'll dress up for you. And he'll kind of lean in. But all right, today's tiers. It is phobias. Let's go ahead and reveal the board as we throw some teams and some tiers. I put and these weren't necessarily mine personally, but I put snakes number one. Who likes snakes? I don't know who wants to hang out with a snake. They don't seem like a lot of fun. Some people like to wear them around their neck. I like jewelry, I guess you can say, but I had snakes in the number one tier. Claustrophobic. It's like closed spaces. Do you like that, Bobby? Who likes
No. You ever see that guy who crawled in that like cave and got stuck and perished?
No, I mean
on Twitter, crawled into that cave and it just went down. You've seen it.
I don't know. My grandpa was accused of murder and was in a prison for like 20 years.
Oh, way to drop it on us.
Yeah, well, he's innocent. And he dug his way out. It took him like 20 years or so to get a hole. And he had to crawl through a pipe of that was like the length of 5 football fields. But eventually he got free. And then the warden was like up to no good. It was in the papers and everything.
This sounds like that story.
He ended up going there San Guataneo in Mexico.
What?
His friend Red met up with him later on. You could Google it. Give it a Google.
What's his name?
Andy.
Andy what? Shalson?
Andy Dufresne.
Are you making this stuff up?
The third tier was heights. The fourth tier was sharks. And the fifth tier was, of course, the number 13 because it's Friday the 13th. We'll throw some teams and some tiers. The Sharks one, people are afraid of Sharks. Do you know how many people die from Sharks a year? Bobby, you want to take a guess? How many people die from Sharks a year?
I don't like sharks. Scary.
Yeah, they are in theory.
Yeah, heights. Yeah, nice rankings, Dean. Nice list.
Thank you. Okay. Roughly 5 to 10 people a year, they say, die from sharks, just for the record. So, a lot of propaganda against the Sharks, but for the most part, they're not really harming anybody. Let's throw some teams in some tiers. Very first game we're going to talk about, it's the Angels and the Orioles. Charlie Morton at home versus Jack Kohanowitz. We mentioned no Ward for the Angels. Baltimore has got the highest total on the board. Again, they're without 2 of their, I don't want to say key pieces, I guess kind of sort of somewhat. No Cowser. Cowser's out of the lineup today, as well as, what was the other one that got scratched from the lineup? Maverick Hanley is in the 9 hole. It's not the best iteration you're going to get of Baltimore. 10 total. Again, Baltimore, biggest number on the board. Kohanowitz is one of the weaker pitchers. Charlie Morton, not one of the better pitchers in the league as well, and pretty good ballpark. So on paper, it looks like 2 of the better offensives that we're seeing take the field. How do you feel? Where are you throwing the Orioles and the Angels?
Yeah, so I like both of these teams a good bit. Currently getting a lot of both Baltimore and the Angels, but that was prior to this weather situation. For the Orioles, let's put them in snakes. For the Angels, let's put them in small, closed places. Guys for the Orioles I like. O'Hearn, Gunnar Henderson, Ramon Laureano. These guys stand out. Jackson Holiday, I think, is great. Zach Neto for the Angels. Mike Trout for the Angels. Joe Adele, specifically. I think he's interesting in the 6 hole. He's been absolutely red hot, and he's in the 6 hole, so his ownership might be a little bit depressed. And then Logan O'Hoppe.
So you got the Angels in closed spaces and Baltimore in snakes, 2 of the top spots. Let's go ahead and drop that third clue, by the way, for Film Friday. This might get the people going. It was already dropped. I guess I missed the actual drop. So sometimes you're paying attention to the screen. It is.
We're just on the same page, Dean. I put that out about literally 3 seconds before you said, let's drop clue 3.
Oh, good timing. Yeah, I just looked over. I'm like, oh, there it is scrolling. Sometimes I'm just behind. Hurry, deliver. The third clue is therapist. So get in that Discord. It is not Premium Rush. I see several people guessed Premium Rush or Crank or The Transporter or every Jason Statham movie I think is getting listed. It's not a Jason Statham movie. How about that? Okay, let's scoot along. Game number 2. It's the Yankees.
Who's King Mana in chat? He keeps throwing ... after every one of them, and I'm just confused.
I don't know.
No idea.
I mean, he's in here often. I'm not sure why he's adding the ... I didn't see the context, but
yeah,
okay. Yankees, Sox, Crochet, one of the most popular pitchers, taking the bump. Ryan Yarbrough, the lefty here for the Yankees. We saw a double dong the other day for one of the rookies for Boston. He didn't even crack the lineup today, did he? Anthony's in there. Campbell's in there. As far as the Yankees, no Jazz. Rice in the lineup left on left. Do we want to have a little leverage of the Yankees against Boston? If you want to play that route, by all means, nobody's really playing New York. And then you got Boston versus Yarbrough. Where do you see these teams going?
So Yankees and Sharks, I would put them in 13, but you have literally 2 of the best hitters versus left-handed pitching. I know it's Crochet, but it's Judge and Goldschmidt right at the top of that order. So they can go in Sharks for me. On the Boston side, kind of I like Rev Snyder. I like Romy Gonzalez. I think those guys are fine. Navarez. I would probably put Boston in Heights. That's where I would go. Yeah.
Boston in Heights, the Yankees in Sharks, Reds, Tigers. We have an opener for Detroit. It's Brant Herter. Montero expected to be the long man. Nick Martinez drawing the start here for Cincinnati. 8 total. Detroit is the slight favorite. Where are you throwing the Tigers and the Reds?
Yeah. Tigers and Reds. They're not really offenses I'm getting to a ton. Getting to some Cincinnati, some Detroit, but very little. I think they can both go in Sharks. Guys that stand out, Stevenson for the Reds, Tyler Stevenson. I think from a catcher perspective, he's very good. And then on the Tigers, Carpenter and Riley Green are like the two that I have significant interest in, followed by Torkelson, and that's really it for me.
So you're putting them both in Sharks, is that correct?
Yeah. Would you have them higher?
No, that's kind of where I put them as well. I think there's some interesting one-offs, but for the most part, I'll tell you right now, I'm not stacking either team there. I don't make enough lineups to get there. I just like this. Matt in chat says, this slate is so bad, you donks and fish don't even see it. I don't know if you're a donk or a fish or am I both, whatever. But like,
You said I could be a frog.
What can you be?
A frog. I asked if I could maybe be a bear because I didn't want to be a donk or a fish, and he said no, but I could be a frog, so I'll take that.
What is a frog in terms of like? I know what a donkey is, I know what a fish is, but what is a frog in terms of like how good you are when it comes to DFS or just sharpness in general?
I don't know, but I mean I can blend into my surroundings. I can hop around. Maybe I got a little poison, so I'll take a frog.
All right. I just don't know. Like he says, like you don't even see it. Like, what's the point? Let's say it is bad. What's the sense in arguing over it's good or bad? I didn't know that was a contention, a point of contention. Okay, just thought it was interesting. Fair enough. Mike wants to be an eagle, so there you go. There's all sorts of options. You can whatever animal you want to be, I suppose. Let's move on. Let's talk about the next game on the board is the Rays and the Mets. Clay Holmes at home versus Taj Bradley. They're pretty big favorites. 4.5 team total. The Rays outside of St. Pete's getting a big downgrade. Clay Holmes pretty decent pitcher. This is one of those games I think is mostly going to be ignored. I'm not saying you can't go here. Of course, doesn't matter the ballpark, doesn't matter the pitcher. Polar Bear. Speaking of animals, Polar Bear Pete Alonso can bang it out anywhere. Jeff McNeil is all of a sudden like a power guy. I'm not totally buying it, but it's just of note. I want to see he's got like 5 homers or so in the last 10 games. Where do you have the Rays and the Mets?
Yeah, so the Mets for me are interesting because a lot of these guys profile really well. Specifically Nimmo, Soto, Jeff McNeil, like you previously stated. So I don't know. I'll put the Mets in heights, although they're not great. And then for the Rays versus Clay Holmes, probably be lefties I'd target. I'd probably throw the Rays and Sharks as well. And it would be Lau, Aranda, Camnero. I know he's right-handed, but you can always play him. So it's mainly where I would go with them.
Matt's talking about the torpedo bats. Have you heard anybody talk about torpedo bats in the last, 6 weeks? Has anybody mentioned the existence of torpedo bats?
I was thinking the other day, and they've become completely irrelevant.
Remember at the start of the season, everybody was flipping out like, oh, Volpe's got a torpedo bat. And for some reason, some people thought it was just the Yankees, like they had the monopoly, like nobody else had the technology to make a torpedo bat. Only the Yankees did, which was obviously wrong. But nobody cares anymore, right? It's just a non-story. It was a thing that people lost their minds about.
Fabricated because New York hit all those home runs on opening day.
There was a small sample, yeah, for sure. And there's some other players, obviously, around the league that are using them. Okay, let's move along. It's Colorado and Atlanta. Herman Marquez taking them Bryce Elder. 8.5 total. Atlanta is a monster favorite. -350. It's a big boy number. Their team total creeping up on 6. One of the more popular teams on the board. No Drake, unfortunately. I kind of like Drake, but Sean Murphy's a pretty good, I don't want to say backup catcher. They're kind of 1A. They're kind of a split catching duties at this point. Coming to the season, it was supposed to be Murphy. Baldwin's kind of taking him over. But, Murphy's in there today. Elder's going to be one of the most popular pitchers alive that's throwing baseballs tonight. And then we got this report for weather, and we'll see if he gets something new. 7:15 is first pitch. Last we saw, I'll drop it in chat as well. I can actually read it for you. There is a big line of rain coming tonight, and if they play fast enough, they can beat it. Okay, that tells me it's going to be coming later. Problem is now there's those big pop-up showers and storms around. So if they have a delay, then they may have to contend with that line of rain. Just be cautious. Yeah, so if they get a delay at some point early, it could be big trouble late. And of course, they get a delay early. That could also hurt Elder if the delay is too long. I don't know what to do with that, but that's the information as of right now. And we're talking about offenses here, Bobby. Atlanta, Colorado. What do you got?
Yeah, Atlanta, the team total's gone down pretty significantly. They are in Colorado. For me, obviously you can throw them in snakes. I would probably put them like the first team in small, close spaces ahead of the Angels. But I don't know if that even matters.
I just like ranking the tiers amongst tiers, like in the inner tier rankings.
Tiers. I think Blender does the tiers amongst tiers.
Does he?
Yeah. Ronald Acuna, fantastic. Olsen, probably my two favorite Braves. Ozuna and Riley are probably 1B, 1C for the Braves for me, and then Sean Murphy would round it out. I guess you could play Nick Allen in Coors, but good luck. He's Nick Allen and he stinks. That's mainly.
Well, it's in Atlanta. Just a heads up.
It's in Atlanta. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why.
He's worse in Atlanta.
Yeah. That's mainly it for me. That's where I'm at.
And shortstop's also kind of a loaded position too. So
Colorado. Yeah. Colorado, you can just chuck in 13.
Yeah, Colorado all by themselves. We still have Baltimore, the only team currently in snakes. A couple teams in small, closed spaces. That's the Angels, the Braves. Boston and the Mets are hanging out in heights. Sharks has the Rays, the Reds, Detroit, and the Yankees. Let's go ahead and drop that fourth clue for the film. It is not Run Lola Run, which is a movie nobody ever talks about. I think out of Germany. It's pretty good. What About Bob is another oldie. Another quick change. Bill Murray run here in the live stream chat channel. Again, if you want to get your guests in, live stream chats, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. It is not Memento or Castaway or Anger Management or Silence of the Lambs. A lot of good movies being thrown out here, but maybe we'll get there with the fourth clue, Bobby. The fourth clue is microphone. Hurry, deliver, therapist, microphone. That is our first 4 clues. One more to come if necessary. All right. Let's jump back to the games. Do hit that like button. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Once we get to 75, I think we hit 75 with Spidey Bombs incoming. 100 is your next Spidey Bomb. Cardinals, Brewers, 7.5 total. Fetty taking on Peralta. Peralta, a pretty big favorite, minus 170. No Bowers for Milwaukee. Their lineup just dropped a bit ago. Frelick, Churio, Contreras, Yelich, Hoskins, Collins, Terang, Durbin, and Ortiz. They had a big game yesterday versus these Cardinals, who kind of sputtered last night. Where do you have St. Louis and Milwaukee on the board?
Yeah, for Milwaukee, probably just throw them in Sharks. Looking at just who's popping for them. Yelich seems like someone I'd be interested in. Sal Frelick, Churio, Reese, who's having a great year. Yeah, that's mainly it. Sharks for me. Cardinals, same thing. I hate attacking pitchers versus the Cardinals. Peralta is in my pool, but Mason Wynn, Herrera, Contreras, I think those are the best Cardinals. Nolan Gorman down there.
Seeing our third Spidey Bomb dropping, it is Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll, Spidey Bomb number 3, plus 425. Pretty good number. If you shop around, you can get it. Yeah, I like the Brewers as kind of one of my sneaky teams on the board. 3.54 ERA for Fetty this year, and good for him. But, too many walks, 10.7%, 14% Ks, 6.5% homer to fly a ball. If you add it all up, he's at the highest Sierra on the board at 5.26. His advanced stuff's not very good. If you look at the percentiles, 100 percentile is the best, 1 percentile is the worst. He's in the 4th percentile as far as strikeouts, 6th percentile when it comes to whiffs, 10th for chase, and his ERA, I think, is 11th. Exit velocity, average exit velocity, 20th. He's been just straight up bad, despite the fact that the numbers, the ERA, if you just look at ERA, He's been good on that, just as far as the result. But the regression monster is coming, I think. All right. TJ, the people are clamoring. They want another cameo from TJ, but if nothing else, he's always welcome to jump on. But he'll be on later during crunch time, coming on in about 20 minutes. You got Dave Potts, CheeseIsGood. TJ will be hosting that show.
We got a good question in chat, Dean.
What's that?
Would I roster a 4K Dean Shavelson in Coors Field?
What position am I playing?
If you were 2K, I'd consider it.
No, but like if I was pitching you, you wouldn't want me.
No, definitely not.
I'm going to give you a big old negative.
Catching, I would imagine that'd be your position as a catcher. I think that I would roster a 2K catcher in Coors.
Okay, I'm going to get you a 0, just so you know. Just expect a 0. Flat out
2K,
punt.
that's fine.
Okay, I have no upside. Maybe I'll get hit by a pitch, and then they pitch ran for or something. But yeah, do not expect any more than like 2 points out of me. And even if you get 2, you're probably lucky. All right. So I wouldn't roster me. I do not have stolen base upside either. Those days are behind me, unfortunately. I have a good eye. I can draw a walk. But,
I bet you could draw a walk, and you get me the 3. I bet you could draw a walk.
Well, 2 for the walk. I don't know why it's 2 for a walk and 3 for a single, but 3 on Vandal, depending on where you're shopping, I suppose. I in my head, I'm a lefty and I hated facing lefties. So I think, oh, it's terrible left on left. But then I forget, oh, wait, these guys are professionals and they don't hate it as much as I did. There's a reason why I'm not playing baseball professionally.
It's a weird angle for lefties, especially if they come from the outside. Yeah.
Some of those angles look impossible. Yeah. All right. Athletics, Royals. I can get the back half of a double steal. I think I saw Kyle Schwarber get the back half of a double steal the other night, and they didn't throw.
There's no way. There's no way.
Well, if they're not throwing it, if they're throwing to the third, the guy at third safe. I get the free stolen base. I didn't do anything really, assuming they throw to third. That's possible.
It's not possible.
It's not possible. Athletics taking on the Royals. It's an 8.5 total. Royals are a pretty big favorite here, -165. Jacob Wilson is back in this Athletics lineup. Still no Bangaliers, obviously, so the lineup looks a little bit weaker. Kurt's also back, too. KC, you got Vinny Linguini, Vinny Pasquantino, Bobby Witt. Why do they insist on having Jonathan India leading off? Why not just lead off your best hitter, Bobby Witt? Just a thought. I think it was the other night I saw, Witt was on deck and India made the last out, and why would you willingly say I want Jonathan India to get more at-bats than the best hitter on my team? But I'm not the manager. What do I know? Anyways, Athletics, Royals, what do you got?
TJ has a perfect. Athletics in Sharks and the Royals in Heights. Bobby Witt, I think, looks great. Maikel Garcia, I like for a bomb tonight. Vinny Pasquantino, Nick Lofton, those would probably be my favorite Royals. On the athletic side, Lawrence Butler, Jacob Wilson back in there in the 2-hole, don't mind him. Soderstrom's probably my favorite. I think you play some Nick Kurtz and Austin Wins on the back end of this order. There's guys there. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I like Waka today. But I do think that the Athletics have some upside. So Heights is fine for the Athletics.
You also kind of outed yourself saying it's a super. You said Waka's so safe. It's not a Bobby Gomes play. It's too safe. But you're gonna play some.
I'm gonna play some. You would love playing Waka in the 121 tonight. If your 121 team doesn't have Waka, I'd be very surprised.
What's funny is Elder might turn into Waka.
Yeah, that's going to be the swap, I would imagine, for a lot of
That's
people.
the obvious swap. Elder's 7'8" and Waka is 7'5", and we'll see what happens as far as the weather. I would like to get an update beforehand. The game doesn't start till for another hour and 20 minutes.
Will we get an update? Where are we going to look? Because that's going to be the last one from Roth Sub with no Twitter account. So where are we going to look to make this swap?
Who is this impersonator, this Roth impersonator? It has to be like Kirkwood or someone.
Kirkwood is not. He's not. This guy knows more about Kirkwood.
Kirkwood is the 2-point model.
No, he doesn't. That's not real. I never saw it.
I've seen it. It's in beta.
He showed it to you?
It's in beta.
Well, yeah, I can look at it if it's in beta. Why can't I look at it? He doesn't trust me with it?
Yeah, you can't be trusted. We know about you, Dean. We know about you.
I got a trusting face. Well, Kirkwood's going to be on later. And maybe Kirkwood in his dew point model, which I don't know what dew point has to do with, like, is it going to rain or not? I think it's a different conversation. But maybe Kirkwood will have some takes with Dave Potts coming on later as well.
Tim said it in chat, confirmed. Dean Shady is AF. Dean Shady AF.
What? He just likes stirring the drink. Oh, Kirkwood's lurking.
There's no way TJ could beat me in a race. I'd easily steal a bag over TJ.
Well, wait, that's two different things. You think you're
Someone
faster
just
than
said it in
TJ?
chat. I just wanted to confirm that.
TJ, would you be willing to race Bobby? I don't know if that's something we can do. Yes?
Sure.
He'd lose.
Maybe.
TJ ran track in Saskatoon.
That's not true.
Yeah, they had 3 people on the team.
Just to see what kind of response he would give.
It's not true.
It was like, a distance runner or something. Okay.
I was a thrower.
Javelin?
Throw the hell out of a shot put.
Really? You were a shot put guy?
Yeah.
I had this funny
spun
softball
around?
game the other day, and this kid got the pitcher. They threw him out of the game, and he whipped the ball like over the left field fence and into the harbor behind. It was a good throw. Very good throw.
Next game up on the board. Oh, now I'm getting distracted. Oh, did we do we did it. Chicago and Texas. Hauser against Sean Armstrong. Texas, you talk about their team total moving. It's almost at 5 now, taking on Adrian Hauser. The White Sox, Miguel Vargas has been good. Outside of Vargas, there's not really much going on here. I guess Luis Robert, in theory, can hit still at baseballs. And I still don't hate Kyle Teal as a flat-out punt as far as catchers. But, 24 teams, I'm not going to get a lot of White Sox. Where are you seeing Chicago and Texas?
Yeah, Texas with it bumping up. I'd probably put them in small, closed spaces. Keep thinking of that Twitter gif with the guy that gets stuck, like cave diving or whatever, when we think about that. For the White Sox, I know they're perennially in the 13 spot. I'm going to be a little ambitious today.
Oh.
I'm going to put them in heights. I'm going to put the White Sox in heights.
What? To the center? Okay.
Vargas, Benintendi, Mydra, Tauchman for Sean Armstrong. I don't know. These lefties could be good tonight for the White Sox. Kyle Teal, so whatever.
I don't understand where Sean Armstrong came from. He's not
Yeah,
pitched in
that's
the
what I'm
majors.
saying. Like, who is Sean Armstrong?
He's 35 years old.
Yeah.
He's not some hotshot prospect, if that's what you're thinking. Back in the day, he played on Cleveland for a bit, a little bit of Tampa, a little bit of Baltimore, kind of bounced around. But good for him, drawing the start today for Texas. Almost 35, 3 months short of 35. Next game on the board is, we did St. Louis and Milwaukee, right? We did the Athletics and the Royals. I'm sorry, I'm getting my board confused. I think I skipped
Because
Chicago.
we're really off kilter today, I would say. You can tell.
Are we a little off? Is that what's going on? Is it we don't have the appropriate rhythm? It's a Friday.
It feels a little out of whack. I was moving from Tuesday to Fridays now. I'm a Friday guy.
Oh, that's what's going on. That's the reason for sure. We got to close strong. That's all that matters. You finish strong, you stick the landing. That's all people remember. It's Minnesota taking on Houston. It's Colton Gordon versus Chris Paddock. It's an 8 total, basically a coin toss here. Paddock kind of a neutral split guy, so I actually don't hate the Astros and all their righties against Paddock. With the Crawford boxes lurking in the left field line. It's a bummer, though, that Paredes got hurt yesterday, because this would have been a great Paredes spot, in my opinion, against Paddock.
I thought yesterday was a great Paredes spot as well.
I thought so, too. But
he's my highest fun player.
Yeah, I like him as
homered,
well.
though. Didn't he homer late or something?
I think he homered, and then he got hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was, hamstring or something like that. I don't know how severe it is, but he's not in the lineup today. Christian Walker, though, is fine. I know he's had a rough season, but the price kind of reflects it. Speaking of rough seasons, Royce Lewis, also really, really cheap, but he's been pretty horrendous as well. But this is a guy we've certainly seen in spurts be spectacular when healthy. Where do you have Minnesota and Houston?
Yeah, Houston's probably going to be Paredes kind of hurts Houston's lineup for me. being out of there. Let's say Houston in heights, and then let's put Minnesota in small close spaces.
All right. Minnesota going to small close spaces. Houston going to heights. Fifth clue for Film Friday. Got to get a winner here. Got to get a winner. I might need some bonus clues. I thought somebody would get it by now, but the over-under was 3.5 clues, so the over is hitting. We've dropped the first 4. Hurry, deliver, therapist, microphone. The last clue is George. George. Hurry, deliver.
These clues are just beyond
horrendous.
terrible.
Even the clues are having an off day.
Yeah.
I think the clues are fine. I don't know how many people will have seen the movie though, so I think it's not the clues that are bad as necessarily as the movie choice.
It's
a movie we've
but
seen. It's a movie we've seen.
No, he's saying
I
you haven't
it's a
seen
movie
it.
people have not seen.
Okay.
You've heard of it, but you probably haven't seen it. And
I've
it's
seen a lot of
the
movies.
last 7
I've
years
seen
or
a
so.
lot of movies.
Well, maybe you've seen it. We got the Dodgers, by the way. It's Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Teoscar, Muncy, Pajes, Conforto, and Edman. Just got the Giants, Lee, Adames, Ramos, Smith, Flores, Schmidt, Yazerbaduski, Fitzgerald, and Kisner. Kisner is doing the catching for the Giants. We'll talk about that game in a second. There's 3 more to go. Continue hitting that like button. We keep getting those Spidey bombs. No San Diego lineup just yet. It is Stephen Kolek on the bump, taking on Ryan Nelson. 9.5 total. The roof is closed in Arizona. They are having mercy on the fans out there in the desert. They're going to get some AC. Over a 5 total for the D-backs. Corbin Carroll taking on Stephen Kolek. I know he was a Spidey bomb earlier. Where do we have? We just have to put the Diamondbacks and Snakes, don't we? Not to tell you where they go, but in theory, shouldn't they be? You tell me. Padres and D-backs.
Arizona's strong. I think that, they're fine up in Snakes. Marte, Carroll, literally just the main guys from Arizona as always. Gino looks great. Gurriel, Pavin Smith, no interest. That's pretty much it for Diamondback. San Diego's fine in small close spaces. TJ's on my entire build. He's pretty correct on everything I'm doing. For Fernando Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Gavin Sheets. I like those San Diego Padres.
San Diego in small, close spaces. Where'd you have the Dodgers? I don't see them on the board. Did TJ miss them?
You mean Arizona? Snakes. We threw them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, correct. My apologies. They're already up there. He assumed that's where they would go. Yeah. My bad. All right. 2 more to go. We're probably going to have some bonus clues. I don't see a winner just yet in the live stream chat channel. Giants. Speaking of the Dodgers, here they are. Yamamoto taking on Logan Webb, 2 of the better pitchers in all of baseball. Good offense there for the Dodgers. No Chapman, obviously, for the Giants. It's a 7.5 total. The Dodgers are big favorites here, almost a -200 favorite with the better offense, and even as far as the pitcher, depending on how you see it. But offensively, we're not expecting a ton of fireworks here, but that does mean you can get a very low-owned Ohtani and all the Dodgers. Same deal with the Giants, whoever you want there on San Fran. Where do you see the Giants and LA?
Dodgers, I'd probably throw in heights. Ohtani, Betts, Muncy, just all the regulars. Again, Freeman looks very strong. Tommy Edman rounding it out there. Did he make the lineup, Edman? I haven't read.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And then for San Fran, I'd throw them in Sharks. I don't know, like they take a significant hit with Chapman not being in there today. So I know Ramos, Flores, Yastrzemski are fine, but not a ton of injuries.
All right, here's the bonus clue. Today's tiers, we're talking about phobias, right? This movie surrounds around a phobia, public speaking. So do with that what you will. Fire off a guess. And if we don't get there on that, I have another clue if necessary. But public speaking is what this, in part, it's the crux. It's the crux of this movie. And I like that the first guess is snakes on a plane.
I like to get rich or die trying.
Or anaconda is the next thing. Yeah, those have nothing to do with public speaking, but I do appreciate.
Oh, somebody hit it on clue 5.
Oh, really? Did I miss that?
J Swift 13.
Oh, okay. I see a lot of action going on, and I must have. Did somebody note it, or it just flew past me? There it is. There you go. Clue number 5, the King's Speech. We'll detail why it was the King's Speech in just a second. The last game, it's Cleveland, it's Seattle. Luis Castillo taking on Gavin Williams. Just a baby total here, 7, which 3.5 total for Seattle, which means that the experts think that Kyle Raleigh is going to hit 3.5 solo homers. No Cleveland lineup just yet. Gavin Williams versus Luis Castillo in kind of a pitcher's paradise up there in Seattle. Where are you throwing the Mariners and the Guardians?
Let's throw. Let's put Seattle and Sharks. I think they have some leverage. Like you said, Cal Raleigh, Polanco, Tellez. Those would be the main ones for me. Cleveland versus Castillo is difficult. Neiman, I like. Ramirez. Castillo's K-prop's like 4. Let's put Cleveland in Heights. Yeah.
All right, Bobby, the people are going to want some homers, so get some homers ready. Crunch Time getting fully assembled. They'll be here momentarily. You got Dave Potts. You have Kirkwood, who I think I might have irked a little bit earlier in the show. We'll be fired up. Love a fired up Kirkwood.
You need a good tongue lashing from Kirkwood.
Well, I like a fired up Kirkwood.
Keep you in line. Someone needs to keep you in line, Dean.
Am I getting out of line? Is that the issue? All right, let me recap the board for the people. If you're joining us late, power ranked Phobias. Phobias, number 1, had Snakes. Of course, Arizona, the Diamondbacks. They're in the number 1 tier, as well as Baltimore. Small, closed spaces, claustrophobic. That's you got Anaheim. That's Atlanta, Texas, Minnesota, San Diego. Fear of heights in the middle. Boston, the Mets, KC, Chicago, White Sox, Houston, the Dodgers, and Cleveland. The most popular tier is Sharks. That has tier number 4. That's Detroit and the Yankees, Cincinnati, the Rays, Milwaukee, St. Louis, the Athletics, the Giants, and Seattle, and all by their lonesome. The fear of number 13, triskaidekaphobia. It is the Colorado Rockies. Give me some homers, Bobby. Be as ambitious as you want to be. Who is going to go yard?
Ronald Acuna.
Oh, well, you don't want to be ambitious, apparently. You just want to be right. You don't want to be ambitious.
I just want to be right.
Yeah.
Let's go Ryan O'Hearn.
I like it.
That isn't ambitious enough for you, Dean.
It's going to be it's kind of chalky, and it's one of the best hitting spots on the game with the
Jackson Merrill. Does that work for you, Dean?
Yeah. Look, I don't have to give you approval. Like whatever Spidey says, the Spidey bombs are what they are, and I don't sit here and criticize. I mean, I might be thinking it to myself, but you can say whatever you want. Any names?
J-Ram.
Okay. That's 4, I believe. Today's Film Friday. If you want to know how we got there as far as the King's Speech, 1 and 2 are kind of like they feel like they're linked together, but they're more of like a kind of a little bit of a swerve. That's how we do it. 3, 4, 5 are the strongest clues. The more clues we get, the clues get better and better. Hurry is in reference to one of the co-stars in this movie, Jeffrey Rush, co-stars in the King's Speech. Hurry. A lot of people were guessing the movie Rush. They didn't think of the actor, Jeffrey Rush.
Fantastic actor, Dean. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Never seen it, but it's another story, I guess. I had those shows.
Jeffrey Rush. Is he
in Pirates of the Caribbean? I know it's Johnny Depp. I don't know who else is in.
I might have to if the Oilers win this series. Heck of a game last night, Dean. I actually watched, by the way. But
amazing.
I turned on the TV when it was 3-0, and I watched the rest of the game.
And you stuck around.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Did that guy cash out? Like, I keep seeing all over my Instagram feed. He has like 200.
No, I think he's still live. Yeah.
They were down 3-0. He didn't cash out.
Well, whatever the payout was less. He stuck it out. He's got Edmonton, not Florida.
I might have to pivot to Pirates of the Caribbean instead of National Treasure 2 if I win.
Oh boy.
You've never seen Pirates of the Caribbean, dude?
No, I mean I've been in the ride. That's good enough, right?
Pirates of the Caribbean's good.
If there was a list of like top 100 movies people should watch, I guarantee you that would be on the list.
No.
I think Black Pearl would definitely be on the list.
Without a doubt.
I'm with TJ. I
No.
agree again.
I will make a list of 100 movies.
And why
be
me and
like
TJ are
the
agreeing
greatest
so much.
CGI movie of all time.
Deliver was the second clue, and you deliver a speech. You're not necessarily delivering goods. You're delivering a speech. Therapist, King George, he had a fear of public speaking. I think it was George IV, if I'm not mistaken. And he needed a therapist to help him get over that. And of course, how did he deliver this speech? He used a microphone. And George is the fourth clue, King George. So there you go. That is the movie, The King's Speech. I believe it was Best Picture like 6 years ago or so. So shout out to Jeffrey Rush.
I might have to see that because I do like Jeffrey Rush a good bit.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's like a well-made movie, but like, once you see it, you're never going to see it again. But it's a good movie. All right. Bobby, give me your boldest fade. Who are you most afraid of? You're making 25 lineups. Are you taking a big stand? Are you spreading out? Who's the pitcher?
I might be under. I'm leaning to be under on Crochet.
Huh. Yeah, that's a tough one. Are you playing Yankees or just avoiding it all? That's a fade in itself. Just not playing Crochet.
I might have a one-off Judge.
Sure.
Goldschmidt.
Yeah. I don't mind a mini New York or just a one-off Judge. Sure, why not? Don't like the lineup much beyond him, but I like the Goldie call. But if you have the salary, nobody's playing Aaron Judge today, so you can get him basically unowned. Of course, you got to pay for him; it's going to cost you. But I like him. And you're talking large field stuff, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Dave Potts is here. You got Kirkwood. KirkDiese is also here. And then how am I losing my movie trivia credibility because I've not seen Pirates of the Caribbean? Like I'm aware of the movie.
I'm with Trey in chat.
It just doesn't look interesting to me. I don't like big action movies per se. I get it.
Pirates.
I have no whatever. They're pirates. Johnny Depp he's got this axe. I get it. I saw the trailer. I know exactly what's going to happen. There's a treasure probably somewhere. Doesn't look that interesting to me.
You don't know what's going to happen then if that is. You know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to make you watch it.
I had a joke, but I'm going to keep it to myself on the Pirates.
All right, let's do it. Let's segue to crunch time. It's Bobby Gomes and myself, and then we're now going to be joined by Dave Potts and Kirkwood, KirkDiese, and TJ, of course, is going to spin another plate. He's going to start hosting crunch time right now. Dave, Kirkwood, did I lose my movie credibility for not seeing Pirates of the Caribbean? Is that a mistake?
Kind of, yeah. Like if you were to say this wasn't your thing after you watched it, that's fine. But to not see that for someone who watches a lot of stuff, that's pretty far out there, man.
All right, enough. Maybe I'll watch it.
Color me shocked. A movie where Johnny Depp is in tights and wears makeup, and Dean has not seen it. I can't believe it.
Pirates too.
What does that all mean? Hi, Kirkwood. How are you?
Good.
We might need your dew point model today. If you want to share.
I looked at it, dusted off, but the dew point model doesn't predict weather. It just takes what the actual weather is, and it talks about the hitting, the density, the dew point, and everything for how far the ball's going to fly. But on average, but it's not going to help me predict rain. So I'm sorry.
So you're saying there's no reason why I should kiss up to you or anything? You don't have any additional information I can get because the best I got right now is we're yellow-orange in Baltimore, we're yellow-orange in Atlanta, and then we'll see. Maybe we get an update, maybe we don't, but Yeah,
I don't know. Bobby said this weather replacement guy had full credentials. He went to the University of Phoenix, and
Bobby's not saying
should have been. Bobby absolutely told me that.
Oh. In confidence?
In our
secret chat, Dean.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, to be real though, like Roth does vouch for this guy. This person knows what they're doing. They actually play DFS as well, so they're on top of it. I was just curious, like if their scales is the same as Roth.
The question is, do you trust Roth? That's the
question. Of course, 100%.
Okay.
And if he's going to vouch for, we'll see. But the yellow-orange is kind of in the middle. It's kind of dicey. Dave, what do you think, or have you thought about this? If nothing changes, do we just move Elder to Waka Is that something we're considering?
Kind of. I think I'm just going to roll with Elder because
Yeah.
unless they late start, it sounds to me like I'm just going off what he said, which is they should be able to play for a bit if they play. And like I don't need 9 innings. So
Yeah.
if they go 5 or 6 innings and then it delays, that's fine. If it seems to get worse, then yeah, just pivot.
What about the bats?
That's kind of my thing is if it seems to get worse, but we won't really know. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be looking at any radars and figuring out if it gets worse or not, you know? So I don't really know what would make me do that pivot or not. I guess unless it was a pregame delay, because a pregame delay kind of tells me maybe they don't get the game in at all, but there's not really like a thing we can wait for to tell us to pivot, you know?
Yeah. I can tell you the dumbest way that I'm doing it. This is so old school, and yet it's never failed me. No, it's better than that. It's where I live. The weather we get is in Atlanta 2 hours later, period. Like I'm just in the path, and there has been no delay-worthy weather here at all. And I'm going that old school.
So you're saying Atlanta is good till at least 8:17 on the East Coast?
Yeah, yes, that is. What
I trust Dave
you.
more than I trust this new weather guy. I'm sorry.
All right, myself and Bobby, we got to get out of here. We got to make way for crunch time. You guys got a pile of minutes. I believe 50 for crunch time. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on notifications. I see Spidey bombs are scrolling as well. So yeah, keep hitting that like button. TJ, take it away.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to MLB Crunch Time. We are through with the nonsense and ready to talk about some baseball. Joined by two of the sharpest minds in the biz. We got Spidey Bomb scrolling already. The fifth one at 150 likes. We already got Riley Green, Evan Carter, Corbin Carroll, and Kerry Carpenter. And we got a fifth one coming at 150 likes. So keep smashing that like button. And let's start talking some baseball, breaking down the slate with us.
First thing I want to say is, so before I saw Spidey homes, I don't know when Spidey started putting these out. In my expert survey, my home run call was out for the night, and I swapped to Evan Carter. So we got double Evan Carter.
I love it.
I had my bets in this morning, actually, and then I read the musings as I was putting my bets in, and I already had the Texas guys there. I had Josh Smith and Evan Carter as guys that I was betting on today. And then I saw your Evan Carter love in the article, and it kind of just reaffirmed it. Plus, he actually moved up a spot in the order too. So on the same page with Evan Carter today, and helping us break down today's slates. Also, we got KirkDiese, Chris Kirkwood. How you doing?
Doing well. Little upset about, a little confused on what to do with the weather. I guess I just play everything and just pretend like it's all going to be fine.
I am doing some weird things that I don't recommend, but I'm doing them anyways because I'm on a show and it's kind of tough to fiddle around anymore that I have already at this point. But well, I'll pull up the weather right now so that we can see it on our screen here. We're worried about Baltimore and we're worried about Atlanta, which unfortunately means we are worried about one of the top pitchers and probably the three top offenses, or three of the top 5, 6, 7 offenses. Definitely the top 2. What I'm doing today, and again, this is not something I'm recommending as the optimal choice, but I just thought, hey, this is a fun idea and I don't really want to change it, is every lineup I'm playing Bryce Elder is also a lineup I am stacking Atlanta. And every lineup that I'm stacking Baltimore either has Charlie Morton or an Angels stack. So it's either a game stack or
double dip.
Yeah, so it's like the lineups are either going to be totally shot, or if the game's playing, they may still be totally shot. But I'm kind of just like putting all of my Baltimore, LA baskets together, all of my Atlanta together, and then just not messing around with any one-offs there. Cheese, you talked to us about like your thoughts on Atlanta. How do you plan on handling Baltimore, where, again, this is another offense that we want to play, but if it turns into an in-game, I feel like Baltimore, I'm more confident about bats because it seems like we may have an in-game delay, but then they would just finish after.
Yeah, I'm just playing them. Essentially, I'm just pretending these games are fine. I don't obviously know, and I don't even have the weather that comes to my house doesn't actually go to Baltimore 2 hours later, so I don't even have that genius insight. But honestly, I think you just play these unless something more happens, like especially with bats in Baltimore. Like I'm just playing them, and Charlie Morton is such a nonsense punt anyway that it's kind of like the rain risk is no higher than the disaster risk. So honestly, I didn't end up changing anything I was doing because of any of this weather.
KirkDiese, how about you? How are you handling it?
I'm just rolling with it. You know, I don't feel good about it, but I'm on crunch time, so I'm not going to be really able to change what I've done. You know, so we're rolling with it.
Well, let's get rolling and start talking about this slate. And let's start with the pitchers. We have Garrett Crochet leading the charge. 3, I think, really nice top tier offense with Crochet, followed by Yamamoto, followed by Logan Webb here. And then we have the Bryce Elder situation as he faces the Colorado Rockies with some potential weather, but so far looks like we're planning on ignoring it. Cheese, who do you like a pitcher? Start with the expensive tier.
Yeah, I have a wildly small pool for such a big slate, and I'm playing chalk. And there's always perfect reason not to play chalk and just do something else. But I do like Crochet ahead of Yamamoto. It's close. I wouldn't argue with any way you want to split those guys up. And I definitely went out of my way to make sure I played a little Logan Webb too. He's just been so great this year that I don't really care who he's facing. He can beat anybody. But it's Crochet 1, Yamamoto 2, and then a drop to Logan Webb, and then another big drop to Freddie Peralta, who I barely have any. I might not have any of. He might have snuck into a FanDuel lineup, but essentially, Crochet has just been so good, and there's really nothing all that special about the Yankees against left-handed pitching. Like, unless Judge hits 4 home runs, I don't know. It's just another team. Like, they're really just not the same team against lefties, so I'm not scared of it. And really, I think the matchup is as good as Yamamoto's matchup. So give me Crochet 1, Yamamoto 2. I am playing Bryce Elder chalk. I fully understand if you don't want to, either because a non-great pitcher who's chalk can always be faded, and then there's the weather thing. But he actually is really good against righties. And Colorado is 7 high strikeout righties and 2 pretty bad lefties. So it's just too good of a spot at that salary. So I'm in on Elder. And then I'm playing on DraftKings. I'm playing a lot of Michael Wacha, who just, like I said in the musings, after 4 years of just being great, you'd got to just say the guy's just great, real life great, and DFS good. And the A's are just a nonsense team at this point. So that's it. That's who I'm playing.
All right.
I'm playing Crochet, Yamamoto, Elder, and Wacha.
Even with the weather concern, I know you're not a cash guy, but if you were, would you be going Crochet Elder?
Yeah.
All right, KirkDiese, how about you? Who do you like a pitcher today?
Yeah, I'm going 5 deep tonight. I pretty much agree with Dave, except that I actually have Yamamoto just a little bit ahead of Crochet because he's a little bit cheaper. The strikeout metrics and everything are pretty close. You know, he is a little bit behind, but it's a better matchup. Give me the Giants matchup over the Yankees. The Yankees, I mean, they do have the second highest WRC plus versus left-handed pitching. They have a bunch of good left-handed bats, so you'd think it'd be better, but they're just an average strikeout matchup. They're 15th in K percentage against lefties too. So, and just me this is my home Boston homer bias. The Yankees Red Sox games just get out of control. So I feel a little bit safer playing Yamamoto, but again, they're both the 2 clear top tier pitchers. I'm all aboard Elder. It's anybody, you know, I would pitch a sweaty Shavelson against the Rockies on the road and be just fine with it. And so Bryce Elder, 12 strikeouts in his last game, which is a complete anomaly. But, you know, maybe he's found something, but certainly is capable of striking out Rockies batters. So playing him, I like Gavin Williams next for strikeout upside. It's with him, it's all about command, and he's got a new cutter he's been working on that has worked pretty well lately. So Seattle is a matchup I'm not shying away from ever. So I like him, and then Walker would be the next guy. But I haven't actually got them. I'm actually playing 4, but I'm fine with those top 5.
All right, let's make the pivot over to talking about stacks. KirkDiese, you get first crack at that. We have Atlanta projected to be the top stack with Baltimore right behind them.
Yeah, so I mean, I like all the same stacks as everybody does, I'm sure, except I have a couple, maybe one that I like maybe more than everyone else. So when I ranked them today, I went Baltimore, Atlanta. I hate Baltimore. I hate everything. I've always talked about this kid in the chat that I'm with that is a Baltimore Homer fan. I hate him. I hate this team. So I'm always looking against them, and they're like last place, you know, so I'm always rubbing in. But even I have to like them in this matchup. I mean, against left-handed batters, Kokanowitz is just horrendous. And, you know, so they loaded up with lefties. You got Holiday, Rutschman, Henderson, and they do hit. It's been their pitching that's been their hitting hasn't been great, but their pitching has been atrocious. So, and they're starting to hit better recently. But, you know, so you got Mullins, O'Hearn. You just have a lot of good left-handed bats here that should produce here. So I like them. I love Atlanta too. Just, you know, Marquez is just, I mean, it's crazy. Marquez used to be the GOAT for like DFS on the road pitcher, and he's down to 4.5K on DK, which is just crazy for me to see. I mean, a lot of money off that guy in the past. But now you make money going against him. So love Atlanta. I love the lefties, you know, the good lefties. I love Acuna. And the only thing I don't like about Acuna paying 6.1K because he's not running. You used to always have that, you know, if he gets walked, he's going to steal the base right off the bat. So you had 2 ways to get there. But ever since he's come off the IL, he hasn't been running. So don't really love paying 6.1K, but the matchup is too good to ignore. Austin Riley and Matt Olson are the clear next best, and then Ozuna and Murphy are probably like 2 a little bit. But then I like the Angels, the other side, the double dip in Baltimore, but we have to worry about the weather, but I'm just sticking with it at this point. And then I really like Texas. I don't know unless Hauser's like found something and it's just different, I'm just going to keep going against him. He's never even been remotely close to this good so far. And Texas bats have been hot lately. Got a nice 5-run total. I like the lineup, how they put it out there. There's a lot of home run upside in this entire lineup. So I'm on board there. And then my last favorite is Minnesota. And Minnesota, it's just price. There's a lot of upside for the price against Colton Gordon, a lefty. So you get Buxton with the platoon. He's the only expensive bat. You get Jeffers as a good catcher play. Correa is cheap, but always hits lefties well. Throwing a little revenge, sure. Royce Lewis at 5. He hasn't been hitting well, you know, from number standpoint, but all of his StatCast metrics have been decent. He's been very unlucky, a lot of warning track shots and whatnot. So 2.7K with the platoon, sure, I'm all aboard that. So those are my 5.
Just dropped a 5th Spidey bomb from that Texas team you were talking about, Josh Smith at plus 700 over on FanDuel. So we have Riley Green, 2 Tigers, 2 Rangers, and Corbin Carroll. Riley Green, Evan Carter, Corbin Carroll, Kerry Carpenter, and now Josh Smith at plus 700 over on FanDuel. If we get up to 200 likes, I can drop another one. So if you guys can get all the way up to 200 likes, keep hitting that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got one more at 200 likes. And of course, we will take some questions from the YouTube chat as well as the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat as soon as we are done going position by position. So get your questions in and we will hit them after. Cheese, who do you like for stacks today?
Yeah, I'm playing the chalk, and just knowing that plenty of people will not play it because that's how people play. And then maybe the weather gets a few more people off them. So, yeah, I'm playing Atlanta and Baltimore and the Angels. Those are my top three. Twins are next. Diamondbacks are next. I like the Texas lefties more than the full stack. And then have a few darts at like Seattle, San Diego, Milwaukee. But yeah, I'm just good with the chalk.
All right. Well, that means you get to lead us into a little catcher talk.
Catcher's pretty good. Of course, I like Cal Raleigh, but he's not a must play at that salary because we have mid-tier guys that are really good. Like Rutschman would be cash game play. I prefer O'Hoppe to him in tournaments. I like Jeffers plenty well. I like Narvaez. I like Sean Murphy. You can even play Handley because he's minimum salary for Baltimore, almost minimum salary. But certainly Rutschman is better if you can do that.
All right, KirkDiese, how about you? Who do you like at catcher?
I like Adley. He from all the chalky Baltimore bets, he's the first one that I would take out if I needed some salary or whatnot. So, but I do like him. Ryan Jeffers, I like a lot. 3,700 batting second against a lefty. O'Hoppe, I like. Salvador Perez, I like. And then William Contreras against Fetty.
Somebody bringing up in chat that it is there's thunder and lightning 15 minutes out from Nats Park right now. Somebody else saying, why the heck does that matter? That's not on the slate because Washington is right beside Baltimore, and so those do have moderately similar weather forecasts. And so if it's storming near Washington, that could mean it's storming near Baltimore shortly after. But having said that, with thunder and lightning, you never really know where it's going to pop up exactly. So I don't think anything we got to factor in quite just yet. But if anyone is literally looking at a radar and wants to update us, well, then I guess we can trust you with no Roth today. Take us to first base, KirkDiese.
All right. First base, Matt Olson probably has the highest upside. Probably is he a Spidey bomb of yours? Should be if he's not too chalky.
I was a bit too low of odds for me to
yeah. But you have to think he's going to go deep. Ryan O'Hearn.
I did bet on him.
Ryan O'Hearn has been like a consistent Oriole for as bad as they've been this season. He's been hitting pretty much all season when he has the platoon. So this is a good spot for him. Chanel for the Angels are 3,400 for cheap. I like if you need to save some money. I like him. Josh Smith is first base eligible, so don't mind that. Also like Jake Berger for Texas here, and then there was one other guy. I don't know. It'll come to me in a second. The cheap. So Wade, Lamont Wade he's 2,200 batting seventh. Got let go by San Francisco, but then Angels grabbed him because they need some lefty power bats, and he's in the lineup tonight, batting seventh, 2,200. I think that's totally fine because we do have two high-end pitchers up there, so we do need salary where we can get it. So I like that.
Cheese, how about you? Who do you like at first? And if you're choosing one, Matt Olson or Pete Alonso, which one are you going with?
I mean, straight up, it's definitely Olson, but I'm playing a lot of Alonso. Like that's a way to be different. And I have a couple where I have an Atlanta stack with Alonso instead of Olson. Like there are a lot of ways you can play the chalky Braves or chalky Orioles and still be different. So that's one of them that I like a pretty good bit. I'm definitely in with Ryan O'Hearn as well. It's kind of a bad position, which is really why that's kind of it. Like I'm essentially playing the chalk Olson or O'Hearn or pivot to Alonso. and that's what I'm playing. I will always have a little bit of Rowdy Tellez against a righty when he's cheap, but I don't particularly love that. I think Rhys Hoskins is in my pool at some point. You could put like Encarnacion Strand in there for something cheaper. You can do Christian Walker for cheaper. There's plenty of stuff that's like fine, but it's not nearly as fine as just playing Matt Olson.
All right, well, take me to second base.
So again, we got the chalk with Jackson Holiday. I think that's pretty good chalk. And I like Ozzie Albies. Amazing. The Oriole and the Brave. Very surprising stuff. I think Willie Castro is my favorite play to be moderately different. I think the Twins get a little ownership, but not enough to really matter. I've got a little Jake Cronenworth as well. That's really kind of it. For such a big slate, there's just not much anywhere that I like. I mean, you can always play Marte, but he's not really a priority to spend on this slate. I don't mind Romy Gonzalez on FanDuel, or Josh Smith is second base eligible on FanDuel, which helps. He plays every position on FanDuel, so he's always there if you need him. And that's really it there.
All right, KirkDiese, how about you? Who are you playing in second?
Well, today is like the day that I found out Santa Claus wasn't real all over again. Now that I know that TJ is in fact Spidey. Is that what we just uncovered in the chat here?
I believe you're misreading, my friend, because if you see very clearly, it says right here, I'm not Spider-Man. I just know him. I swear. So clearly you're incorrect on there, bud.
Something fishy. But all right, Jackson Holiday, obviously, like Dave said, the Orioles and Braves players, Ozzie Albies. I like Marcus Semien. He's starting to hit. They threw him down to like 7th and 6th in the order, and then now he's batting 4th. And the team is healthy and hitting much better, and he's just been great recently. So I really like him. He's priced pretty cheap. Other than that, it would be like for upside, I would go to Ketel Marte. I don't mind Altuve, but yeah, everyone, and that's all I have. And Jake Cronin, I like the Jake Cronenworth call for 3,700.
All right, take us to third.
All right, third. It's either huge upside with Austin Riley or savings with Royce Lewis for me. That's every lineup I do is going to probably have one or the other, except in a couple of stacks of Texas where I have Josh Smith, who I also like. Manny Machado I like a lot. And then you can always play Jose Ramirez or Devers, even in a lefty. But, I mean, Devers owns the Yankees, so.
All right. Keys, how about you? Who do you like at third?
Obviously, I like Austin Riley.
And Brooks Lee, of course.
Of course. I mean, I really do have a lot of Twins. Because other than Buxton, they're super cheap. Play them anywhere. To pivot off of Riley, if you got too much, if you're playing the chalk everywhere else, I like Machado and Jose Ramirez. Spend up to be different. And I agree with everything Kirk said on Royce Lewis. Like, he's so cheap now, even if he doesn't do anything, but he could just be the guy who's up to bat and it's a single when the bases are loaded, and then he's broken the slate at that salary. So I'm fine with him. I've also got a little bit of Eugenio Suarez as another sort of spend up to be different, but I have a crazy amount of Austin Riley.
All right, lead us to short.
We get a classic, fantastic shortstop day. This is a place you can definitely get different. Of course,
actually, sorry to interrupt you, but like Dela Cruz, Lindor, Nato, Witt, Betts, Gunnar Henderson, Corey Seager, like even the Peñas, Perdomos, the Wilsons, like these are good hitters and they're trash compared to the top tier.
I mean, it's like it's deep. It's like it goes like 8 players deep.
Yeah. Sorry.
And like all these. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So like all these other positions, there's like 2 or 3 guys that I like. And shortstop, there's like 8, which is why I think this is the place I can get away from the chalk. I like Gunnar Henderson, certainly. But I'm much more willing to skip him than I am to skip like Olsen, Holiday, Riley. If I have salary, Ellie's my favorite play for sure. Love Ellie De La Cruz. I also like Zach Neto a ton. I think those are the 2 that go overlooked compared to the others. I think Henderson and Seager are the chalk because of the salaries, and I'm certainly playing them. But if I can get to Ellie, Neto, and Witt, that's what I'm going to do. And then Correa sitting down there with the discount. I don't think I have him outside of stacks, or at least a mini stack, but he's fine in that way too. But like the top is so good, and I didn't even mention Lindor there, who's perfectly great. I really don't want to go cheap here outside of the occasional stack. And again, if I can play Ellie, that's what I'm going to do. Ellie 1, Neto 2, Witt 3, then Gunnar, then Seager.
All right, KirkDiese, who do you like at shortstop? Oh, you are muted.
Yeah, sorry. Tuning out my kid. It's Gunnar, it's Bobby Witt. Neto are the top 3 for upside for me, and then Ellie De La Cruz. And then the savings I like the most is Correa. I would then play Seager after that. I don't even mind Trevor Story batting 6th, who's been starting to finally hit, against Yarborough. I think that could be a good matchup for him. And I mean, Jeremy Pena, I'm fine with. So, I mean, this position is deep, and you're going to feel like if you need to like super punt, Xander Bogaerts for 3,200 is fine as well. So, yeah, I like this position a lot.
All right, takes to the outfield.
All right, Acuna, even though he's not running, it's just a great spot for him to lead off with a homer. Ramon Laureano is the cheap kind of value for the Orioles. I think he's fine. Cedric Mullins, you get the lefties who Kokanowitz has been awful against left-handed batters. So all the lefties are the guys you want. You get a little speed and power with Mullins. So I like that. Tatis just looks, I know he hasn't been as great as past years, but at 4,700 just feels a little too cheap. Mike Trout is there. Ozuna, I like Jackson Merrill. And I even have some Soler at 3,300. And I'll let Dave profess his love for Joe Adele, because I agree with that as well.
All right, Cheese, start with Joe Adele and take it from there.
Yeah, in that cheap tier, like the 3,500 range on DK, I will definitely take Joe Adele first. Also, like, again, I'll mention Willie Castro again there. I'm fine with Laureano too. It's a pretty loaded position, and you can do kind of any pricing tier you want. We've all mentioned Evan Carter now in the 4K range. I like Kerry Carpenter with him and Riley Green. So you got guys in that price range if you want them. That's where Mullins is priced too. I think Jackson Merrill is fine, and agree with Tatis. On the expensive side, well, I guess we should mention Mike Trout on FanDuel is 3,100, which is silly. So I love him there, but I like him a lot on DK as well at 5K. My favorite spend ups are Acuna, Carroll, Buxton, and Trout. I don't really want to mention any super cheap punts. Just the way I'm playing, I haven't really needed to go below Joe Adele outside of a stack here or there. So there you go. And Juan Soto, also a guy that won't get played, who's pretty good.
My four highest owned in the outfield go Carroll, Buxton, Acuna, then Trout. So same page from me there. Let's talk some home run picks. If we get up to 200 likes, I got one more for the people. So keep hitting that like button. We do have 5 Spidey bombs already. Riley Green plus 540, Evan Carter plus 630, Corbin Carroll plus 425, Kerry Carpenter plus 475, and Josh Smith plus 700. And it's also, if you didn't know, because you probably have never heard this wonderful ad read before, but the MLB annual option is $425. However, we dropped the price of our Combo Pro product to mirror the MLB annual package. Might as well get more stuff for the same price, right? Combo Pro 6-month also gives you full access to our content, tools, and projections for every sport except NASCAR at a cheaper price than the monthly package. You'd actually save about 35% by choosing 6-month instead of monthly. Sign up now for MLB projections, NBA content, PGA data, and more. Plus, be sure to try out our Props and Pick'em package for a discount. The Props and Pick'em package features daily prop picks and fantasy pick'em selections from many of your favorite RotoGrinders experts. We're also knocking 50% off the price of your first month when you sign up at the link down below. KirkDiese, throwing to you first. Who is hitting a home run out of the park tonight?
Well, I lost a lot of credibility, but it wasn't my fault. Thairo Estrada was not vengeful. He actually loved his former team, loved his former teammates, loved everybody in the front office there. So if he was vengeful, it could have been a different story. But I do have good word from some close inside sources that Carlos Correa is very vengeful and going to hit a revenge bomb tonight with the platoon off Colton Gordon. So that would be my number one. I also like Devers to homer lefty off Yarborough. And then I've got to take somebody on the Orioles, right? So I'm going to say Ryan O'Hearn.
Ryan O'Hearn capping off the first half of the Juggalo bombs from Team Juggalo captain, but the other half is still here. You can see it in the picture. Cheese, we need your home run picks as well.
First of all, I'll say again, I'm pretty on board with Spidey today. I might have just said Carter, Carroll, and Carpenter, honestly, but I'll give you 3 different ones then. I'll go Willie Castro for kind of on the cheap side. And as far as obvious chalk, I'll go with Matt Olson. And then Logan O'Hoppe.
All right, let's start getting into some questions. First question is there any weather update for Atlanta? Is Elder okay? We're not going to get an update. No update coming from us here. Our best guess based on the weather report that we got is chance it goes poorly, but probably going to be okay. And so I don't think any of us are going to fade Elder or Atlanta. I don't think any of us are going to fade Baltimore or the Angels. Could it burn you? Yes, absolutely. There is weather in the areas. Will it hit the park? We have no idea. We're not meteorologists, but I'm going to play those guys and hope for the best. Bill T says he is by no means a meteorologist, but based on what he's looking at, it says the rain will hit Atlanta about 2 hours after the game starts. Here we go. We got a QQ from Sherman's Tanks. Ozuna and Tatis or O'Hearn and Carroll, KirkDiese.
Sherman's Tanks?
Sherman's Tanks.
He a tank dealer? So we're
tank tops.
Tank
top land.
It could be where Ben Bimefor guy is when we did the show, potentially.
Yeah, exactly. That is where Bimefor guy is, yeah.
Good. Sorry, what was the question?
Ozuna and Tatis or O'Hearn and Carroll?
Ozuna and Tatis.
All right. DK Cash, outfielder, 4,700 or below. Cheese?
Fernando Tatis.
Wow, I forgot he actually is that cheap.
Yeah, he's 4,700.
Yeah, it's just staring at me.
FanDuel single entry, Trout or Mullins? Mullins would complete a Baltimore stack, KirkDiese.
Yeah, then take Mullins.
FanDuel single entry, Carroll or Tatis? Cheese.
Love them both. I would go Carroll.
DK Cash, KirkDiese, Mullins, or Ozuna?
Let's see here. Mullins.
Cheese, if you're playing 150 lineups, would you have any Rocky stacks, and would you have any Herman Marquez at 4.5K?
I would have a couple Rocky stacks in 150 just because of how much Elder I'd have. I would not have any Marquez.
All right. FanDuel, who is your favorite pitcher over on FanDuel for tournaments, KirkDiese? Oh, I can go.
I think I'd have to say Peralta.
All right. DK Cash, Cheese, Langford, Tatis, or O'Hearn? I guess you said that was Tatis.
It's Tatis. I mean, I do like O'Hearn, but I would go Tatis.
That part says he needs 2 players to who will hit at least 2 total bases today. He is finishing a 55-hour work week. So essentially, KirkDiese, who do you think are the top 2 individual hitters on the slate, most likely to get 2 bases? I feel like I'd be choosing between Acuna, Carroll, and Buxton.
I'd say Gunnar and Acuna, but all those were fine. Buxton too, I like.
All right. Who would be your FanDuel single entry pitcher tonight, Cheese?
Their hitting pricing is so soft. It's Crochet or Yamamoto.
DK Cash, Laureano, or Verdugo, KirkDiese? I feel like the answer is neither, and it's Joe Adele.
Well, I'll tell you in a second. So, yeah, it probably is neither. Yeah, I would back your Adele. I just like him better, but I think you probably take the Braves situation because he's the lefty. You know, you get the lefty against Marquez with Verdugo, but keep in mind Verdugo stinks.
DK
Angels, Orioles delayed.
Angels and Orioles delayed. Let's go back to that weather report that we have there, and it said had to downgrade this and the Baltimore game. So referencing the Baltimore game, both games could have an in-game delay with the area of rain moving in out ahead of that line. There are a few storms right between both cities. Just be cautious. Realistically, all I feel like that means is it makes Charlie Morton a little safer. I mean, not that Charlie Morton was ever safe, but I feel like it maybe ups the postponement risk a little, but also makes pitchers safer because you're less likely to have an in-game delay. Do you feel like my read on that is right, Cheese? We're guessing, but like,
yeah, totally guessing, but yes, that's how I feel about it. Like I'm not moving off of it. But keep in mind,
let me ask this Baltimore kid.
I'm on this show, so I'm not watching radar or anything.
Everybody text your friends in Baltimore. I'm going to text my friend in Baltimore. Where's my phone? I'm going to get my phone out, and I'm going to text my friend in Baltimore and say, how bad is the rain by the stadium? All right, bad is the rain by the stadium. I'm here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, but I got friends in Baltimore. I got boots on the ground. I'm going to figure it out, people. All right, let's see what else we got for some questions. Trey says it is now pouring in DC with some thunder on its way to Baltimore. May have to do some adjustments on that one. We'll see. But it's essentially what we're looking at here is there risk? Yes, absolutely. If you don't want risk, don't play that game. But it might just be a little delay and they play. Never know. If we want to answer, if we get a start time, that would probably make me feel a lot more confident. Cheese, thoughts on Severino for a large field DK GPP?
He is in the MME mix for me. He's kind of the next guy in that cheap tier. I've got him, Colton Gordon, and Charlie Morton as just random cheap people you throw into the mix. If you like Severino the best out of that group, I think that's fine.
Dang, my friend says they are in the midst of driving to New York, so they don't actually know. That doesn't help me.
nothing, dude.
What's the point of having a friend in Baltimore if they can't help? DK, GPP, KirkDiese, you got McNeil or Altuve?
Altuve.
All right, lots of weather questions again. Yes, everyone, Baltimore, extra risky. Atlanta, also risky. As of right now, without Roth to tell us no, we are kind of just saying, look, this is something we are probably going to play, but definitely don't play it unless if you're wanting something that is risk-free. Let me double back to the Discord, see if we got any questions here. DK Cash, 2,700 or under. Doesn't say a position. We're going to assume outfield. DK Cash, outfielder, 27 or 100 or under. Is there anybody you'd go with, Cheese?
DK 27.
I feel like if that's any position, you can get
Carlson.
Royce.
Yeah, Dylan Carlson would be the guy for sure. I don't. Now, maybe at this point we have to say, well, maybe you don't play that game in cash. I don't know, but at 2,700, there's kind of nothing else there. I mean, from there, I'd probably say Dominic Canzone, but I don't want him in cash. So I would just do Carlson.
Single entry GPP. Do you think someone can pitch Castillo today, KirkDiese?
No.
I wouldn't either. No Castillo for me, even in 150 lineups. Carpenter and Seager or Gunnar and Trout. Oh, that's just Gunnar and Trout, no doubt about it. Unless you're avoiding weather, then it's Carpenter and Seager. But Gunnar and Trout, the clear, better option there. Nick Martinez or Chris Paddock, Cheese?
They're both like kind of okay. It's kind of like the Severino thing. Like, sure. I think I would play Paddock just slightly ahead of Martinez. But that's a mix and match.
This one's for me, but I'll throw it to you as well, KirkDiese. Would you pivot off of Joe Adele because of the weather and instead play Mike Tauchman in a GPP? I'll go first because they hit me with the tag, but I would say if that is the only player in that game in your lineup, I probably would make the pivot. Although if you can afford him, I would personally prefer to get up to like a Sal Frelick or something like that. I do like him today, but KirkDiese, how about you? If it's a one-off, you don't have anyone else in that game, pivot off of him.
I would even consider Willie Castro for Minnesota ahead of that, or Gavin Sheets potentially too. I think Gavin Sheets makes a lot of sense. Batting fifth, home run upside against Nelson.
All right, let's see here. Sean says there's a pretty wide swath of storms coming towards DC and Baltimore. Looks like the rain's not going to be that crazy. There's just like a lot of storms in the area. So it's essentially what it comes down to is Baltimore and LA. It's risky if you want to play them, but yes, you can play them if you want to give it a shot. Same with Atlanta. Is it a little risky? Yes, probably less risky than Baltimore because it's not starting in an in-game delay, but still coming with a little bit of risk. Let's see here. What else do we got for questions? Another person asking McNeil or Altuve. We answered that one, but I actually forget the answer. So, Cheese, who do you like better, McNeil or Altuve?
I mean, I can say that I don't have either. Outside of, I mean, maybe a full stack. I guess Altuve, but I don't particularly like either.
All right.
She's declared war on the Astros the other day in the musings.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I just hate them. Like how you feel about whatever that guy in your chat is.
I could feel it. I could feel it in the musings.
All right, let's see if we got any more questions here. Running pretty low, but we do have somebody asking about their top 3 pitchers on FanDuel. So, Cheese, why don't you give a little recap of pitching in general?
I mean, essentially, my entire pool on FanDuel is 3 pitchers. It's Crochet, Yamamoto, and Elder. In MME, you always want a little Logan Webb. You might have Freddie Peralta in there. I've also got, I think, Michael Wacha would be next. That's That's all I'm doing. If you desperately need a full punt, you can try Charlie Morton, but you don't really need it much with the way the salary is.
All right, Kirkwood, O'Hearn and Carlson, or Berger and Mullins, DK single entry.
Berger and Mullins.
Kirkwood, you are missing ICP in Bonnaroo today, which is unfortunate. It's sad, but luckily we don't have to worry because as there's photo evidence right here, Cheese and KirkDiese both have plenty of experience at those concerts, so I'm sure they'll be just fine.
We'll be at the gathering. We'll be at the next gathering.
Yeah, next get together for sure. Elder and Williams, okay, in single entry. Cheese. Elder Gavin Williams combo.
It's okay. I personally am not playing Gavin Williams in single entry, but I mean, I think it's fine. Like, I wouldn't tell you you're nuts for doing that.
Alex Altman says, so play Baltimore if you have it and are comfortable that a postponement may happen. Yeah, basically, if you're comfortable taking on that risk, load them up. They're one of the best offenses on the slate. If you don't want to assume that risk at all, just pivot to another one of these top offenses. Atlanta, Minnesota, which still has a little rain risk, but Minnesota, Arizona, Texas, a couple other teams there. Nimmo or Ozuna, KirkDiese?
Ozuna, assuming weather.
All right. Geez, are we really picking on Adrian Hauser tonight?
I'm not as much as Kirk. I'm playing lefties against him. I'm not playing righties against him.
I just switched my main over to picking on him. So
Ellie and Soto or Witt and Acuna? DK Cash, KirkDiese. Oh, it's got to be Witt and Acuna.
Yeah, but they're both pretty awesome. But yeah, Witt and Acuna.
Is playing Elder safe? No, it's not safe. There is rain risk, but he is still one of the very best plays. You just know that you're assuming some risk with some potential for rain. Will something happen? Probably not. Could something happen? It is among the possibilities. Paddock or Nick Martinez for GPPs, KirkDiese?
Rebuild.
Michael
if
Walker.
I had to pick, I'd go Martinez. But
Michael Walker, Gavin Williams for SP2 on DK. Cheese.
I prefer Walker. Williams has more like best case scenario upside, but I like Walker better.
All right. What are your thoughts on a Padres stack, KirkDiese?
Yeah. Why
not? Someone wants to know my highest owned pitcher and my biggest fade. My highest owned pitcher is Garrett Crochet. I don't have any big fades, but I only have 18% Bryce Elder, so I will be underweight on Bryce Elder. Top, pardon me, Cheese, top Twins bats not named Byron Buxton.
Willie Castro. If you're chasing salary, then Royce Lewis. And then Correa, Jeffers, Brooks Lee.
Kirkwood, are you comfortable playing Bryce Elder in cash today?
Yeah.
All right, we are 1 minute left to lock. I do really wish, personally, if for my own lineups, I do wish that this Baltimore LA game was happening a little bit later so I could get less of it than I currently have. But it's looking like that's not going to be an option. And so we are just going to roll with it because that game is about to lock any second here. Let's see. Can I just get rid of the Charlie Morton that I have? Because he sucks anyways before lock. Let's see if it can happen. There's a pitcher I can swap him to and build later. Ryan Nelson. All right. I'm not going to play Ryan Nelson, but I can get him out.
Don't forget to rebuild then.
Yeah, I can actually get him out of my lineups.
Go down and get some.
I hit lock. All right. We're rolling with 20% Charlie Morton. That's okay. QQ, better one-off. Neither, but Brooks Lee or Nick Allen. Cheese, we got to go with our guy Brooks Lee, right?
Brooks Lee.
Elder or Waka, KirkDiese?
Elder.
And what did we think about the Baltimore bats for cash? Well, it is too late for that one anyways, but from a cash setting, we are hopefully going to be avoiding them and only playing them for large field tournaments where we are comfortable playing, assuming some risk, whereas Atlanta, more comfortable for a cash game in Atlanta. I think that'll do it. We have reached all of the questions. Make sure you smash the like button on your way out of here. We'll be back tomorrow for some more baseball content. And then I believe our next basketball show is coming on Sunday as well, or Monday as well. We do have some NBA content for Game 4 already, so you can check that out.
UFC tomorrow?
Sorry?
UFC tomorrow?
UFC coming tomorrow. And, of course, we got the weekend of the U.S. Open. So lots of great sports. Good luck tonight, everyone. Hopefully you win some money. On behalf of myself, KirkDiese, and Cheese, we will see you next time. Peace.